Good day, traders. How are we doing? Prof from Benco Forex Academy speaking. We are here again with another volatility index. We are looking at 25S today. Let's just start the 25S and analyze it and see where I am expecting it to be going and where we are expecting to be taking trades for those missed beautiful moves that has already happened. We can't reminisce on the past, but we can always use the past to plan the future. We are price action traders, so that should be beautiful to have such price action in front of us to just slice and dice it and see where we are expecting price to be going. Just remember to subscribe to the channel, tell a friend about the channel, to tell a friend, so that we make this community grow bigger and bigger and make it beautiful. It's always beautiful when it's big. Well, without wasting your time, also remember to hit that notification button. Don't forget to hit that notification button there. Without wasting your time, let's just get right into it and see what has been happening. By just looking at V25S, just a general overview, you can see yourself. If you are a price action trader or a patterns trader, you can see for yourself that here we it's always a series of head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, failed inverse head and shoulders, failed head and shoulders, successful head and shoulders. On 25S, just looking at the chart itself, if you are a price action trader, you can see that this is an inverse head and shoulder, and obviously it's not as clear, but you can also see that this is some kind of, again, a head and shoulder. You can see that this again here right in front of you is also a failed inverse head and failed head and shoulder, followed by another one which was successful to this end, taking out these ones. And it's arguable again to say this price action on its own is also a head and shoulder formation coming down to take out these lows right here. Just by looking at it, you can see that these are a series of head and shoulders and inverse head and shoulders on 25S. If you check right now, there is another failed head and shoulder that you can see here. If you're a price action trader, this was probably, maybe people expected it to come down there because there is another head and shoulder there that was displayed there. But then in the process, price action delivered another one to the upside, and there we are going to the upside. So this has always been a series of head and shoulders and inverse head and shoulders. Maybe we can call it a head and shoulder pair. 25S is a head and shoulder pair. It's interesting to just see that price action happening in that way there. Let's just look at Elliott wave principles there and see how they've been displayed and where we are expecting market structure to be going. Let's just use our Elliott wave to uncover market structure there and see where we are expecting it to go. But before, there's an interesting thing here that I'm also witnessing. Don't despise that. Again, it's another possibility to take us to these highs. It's another possible inverse head and shoulder that you are looking at right now there. Before we start analyzing and seeing where we are expecting this to go, you can see there that this again is another inverse head and shoulder given right in front of you there. Let's just concentrate on this price action here. Sorry, let me remove this 2. It's now spoiling my chart. It's now spoiling the feasting table. Interestingly here, let's just look at this price action and see how this pair has been behaving and our possible or probable expectations from the pair right there. From here, if you look closely, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 1 there. Wave 1 was given as 5 waves, then a little correction for wave 2, then there was a complex up wave of wave number 3 and 4 and 5 correcting into an ABC correction that you are being given here, which is a possibility of a running flat. This is a possibility of a running flat. Well, some pattern traders would then put a trend line at the bottom there, but you can see clearly that we don't have a third touch there. They didn't come to give you your third touch that you would expect to be getting there. But if we just look at it from the Elliott wave perspective there, you're going to see that this was indeed wave number 1. And if you do your measurements, this running flat here up to this wave number C that I've labeled there is a wave number 2. So we have wave number 2 up to that end. If you combine this wave 1 and wave 2, they are beautifully fitting into a trend line there that we can be expecting. So we are having lower highs and higher highs. So we are in an uptrend right now. This failed to come to take out this low. So we are in an uptrend right now, and it violated the possibility of a head and shoulder there. There was a possibility, obviously. Let's just mark it up and see. We have that there. There was a possibility of this just breaking down to come to these lows, or to come to take out these lows in form of that head and shoulder that I've just shown you there. But it didn't do that. Why? Because it had completed its waves downside, and now we are going up. So now if this is wave number 2, our expectations as usual, I don't know what happened to my network there. I don't have network at the moment, but obviously it has already loaded the price action, so it's not a biggie. We don't worry, don't you worry about that connection page there. We have all the price action to study. You can I will refresh the page later. So if we are agreeing that this is wave number 2, then we would expect now to be in wave number 3 going upside. We would expect wave number 3 going upside. And where is our expected stop? Our expected stop is at price symmetry on the first line there, which I'm just indicating right now. Let me just change colors as we talk so that you see what I'll be saying. So our expected stop right now is at that line that I've changed to blue, which is price symmetry situation, where this wave number 1 is now equal to number 3. Remember, wave number 3 is never the shortest, so we would expect at least to be equal to the first one, even when we know that we're going to have wave number 5, which might still complement the rules to suffice. Then our expected second stop there is this second line there, my 1.272 there, and my next expected stop there is my 1.618 there, if the wave is not going to extend. So given that there is this high here, given that there are stops above this high, that I would expect above this high here. Let me just extend. given that there are stops above that marked high there, and also the confluence of a possibility of what we have agreed. Hey, this is a funny drawing indeed. Let me start again. 1, 2, 3. Well, why not just ignore the drawing and use the proper 2? There is a possibility of there is a possibility of this happening. There is a possibility of this happening. Let me just try to squeeze it in so that you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Just push it up a bit. Let's see what's up there. So there is a possibility of this head and shoulder being there, this, if it breaks to the upside, there is a confluence of that. Well, it's not as visible yet as you would expect, but price action traders can see that. We are seeing that there is a possibility of that head and shoulder going to the upside. So number 1, we have stop losses lying above there. Number 2, we have a possibility of this head and shoulder going upside. Number 3, we have a pattern that has been broken here. There was this correction that has been broken here, going to the upside in an impulsive movement. So confirming that the pair is willing to go up. This index indeed is willing to go up, is willing to push up. This is confirming this 1-2 movement. So it is highly probable that we are going to come to these areas that I've marked here. We can just give it time. You see us in these areas. So you're going to see that if we are going to be coming, why is this necessary and important? If you are going to be coming into these areas, then you would expect your buys to be very strong and your sells to be corrective. You would expect your buys to be very strong and your sells to be corrective. Like what you're noticing, that your up movements are always strong and fast. That's what you would expect there. Just take note. This index, if it confirms what we are saying, then you are better off taking buys than taking sells. You are better off taking buys than taking sells. You are safe in buys than in sells, because sells will not pay as much as the buy side trades. So remember that price is fractal. So it simply means that if this was end of wave number 2, this is beginning of another wave, which is wave number 1. And if you look closely there, the same price action you are given here is the same price action. ABC is the same price action you are also given there. I'm not going to do my measurements on this video. Obviously, I'm not going to do my measurements on this video. You can do your own. There is let's change color there. So as you can see, this now is wave number 2. It's wave number 2. I can see that looks like a triangle on B wave. Then if this is wave number 2, my expectation of wave number 3 is here where I've put the arrow there. That's my expectation of wave number 3. And my expectation of wave number 4, let me change the colors there so that they are visible enough. I don't want to destroy your eyes. So that's my end of wave number 3, where I'm expecting wave number 3 to end. Then from there, I'm expecting a correction to this area, but that correction should not violate this high that I have marked here. I have my invalidation point at this high there. it should not violate this high. If it goes below this high, then it would have violated the possibility of this being a 5-wave movement going up. So if it comes to these areas, even below these areas, as long as it doesn't go below the yellow line, it will still validate my movement going upward. Let me change that to going upward to these areas where I've marked the second what? The fifth wave. Then from that fifth wave, it might just stretch above a bit to touch the trend line before we get an ABC correction to these areas I've marked here, before we get an ABC correction to those areas that I've marked there. After that, if it maintains the trend line, it might break and go down, but I would expect this to then continue the movement, another 5-wave movement going up to our objectives up there in the same manner of a 5-wave movement market structure as we are experiencing, or as we will experience on this one. Let's just give it time and see where it will take us. But this is my expectation on V25S. So if I am going to get a correction around these areas, because there is so much room from here to here, if I'm going to get a correction around these areas, or rather a possibility of a flat correction there, then I would be happy to trade the 5-wave movement, the C wave, to these areas before I can engage into a buy to those areas up there. That's my expectation on V25S. This might not all happen this week. We might go into next week still experiencing the same thing, because remember, price, these candlesticks are not stacked above the other. There will be accumulation, there will be distribution, there will always be time for accumulating orders, there will be time to distribute those orders. So you need to know your market structure, you need to know your forex, you need to know your you need to have enough knowledge of these things, so that the broker will not trick you. You will not be chasing trades around. You know what to wait for and where and when to wait for those things, so that you enter your trades nicely there. So this is my expectation on V25S. Just remember, trade what you are seeing. Just remember to listen to this price. Price will always tell you what it wants to do. Then after that, you then take your trade. Don't be trapped by these moves. If you check here, if we go to lower time frames here and you check here, pattern traders, I'm sure they lost money there. Why? Because this was a sell setup. There was a sell setup given there. There was a sell setup given there. If you go to your lower time frames, there is a nice little rectangle given there. If a 3 touch to the top, that was given there. But because you would have measured your corrections here, this move would not have tricked you. Why? Because you would know that we are going to the upside, and besides, this move came in a corrective manner. It wasn't as impulsive. So why would I expect this to then push to the lower side? So that's what we have on V25S. Just remember to subscribe so that you keep on getting these beauties. I'm sure even if you use your own kind of strategy, which is not our Benkov strategy, which is not the hybrid that we use, you'll be informed. You will get another eye or from these analysis that we are giving you. Have a great week, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy your trading. Just make sure you implement good risk management to protect your money and keep your mind clean. Right psychology is always important. Thank you very much. I will see you in the next one.